Happening right now, an interim police chief has been named for the city of Decatur. The decision less than a week after Chief Todd Pinion said he was stepping down. WAAY 31's Georgia Clark was there for the announcement just a few hours ago and joins us live now from the city with the latest. Georgia?
Well, Natus Carlisle Jr. will be taking that vacant seat for the time being. And this is his second term serving as interim chief for Decatur Police after being appointed in 2016. He's also served as Alabama A&M's chief of police for some years after that. But Carlisle did say he retired from being DPD's chief in 2016 because of the negativity towards and distrust in police at that time. So I asked him, what has changed and what is he going to do in a city that is so divided over police? But here's what he had to say.
I'm going to take it to the streets. I'm going to go see people. I'm going to go see the organizations, the protesters, the churches, everyone. I'm going to go and talk to them and have real talk. You know, I want to hear what's on their minds. I'm not going to agree with everything they say. They're not going to agree with everything I say, but we're going to have dialogue and we're going to try to push forward.
Well, former chief and now captain Todd Pinion is still employed and working at DPD, but I'll have more on that coming up at WAAY 31 News at 6. And reporting live in Decatur with coverage you can count on, I'm Georgia Clark, WAAY 31 News.
Well, you can find this story, including the resignation letter from Chief Pinion, right now on our WAAY 31 News app. All you have to do to download the app is scan that QR code right there on your screen or search for WAAY 31 in your smartphone's app store. It is free to download, easy to use. Well, dare we say it was borderline warm-hot? That's, warm and hot together in the Tennessee Valley. This is the debate up in the newsroom a short time ago. Jeff, I'm not making this up. Is it warm or is it almost slightly hot out there?
I'd say warm.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not quite at hots. We'll know when we get there. But this is one of those days, maybe you ran the heats in the car on the way to work, and folks coming home maybe either running the AC or putting the windows down. It's been that sort of day. We are seeing the temperatures begin to come back down after hitting the upper 70s to near 80 a little bit earlier. Still feels great, though, out there. 75 in the Shoals, 76 Moulton, Athens, Huntsville, both at 74, 73 Fayetteville, and in Gunnersville. We got 73 degrees over in Fort Payne as well. So great weather out there. We talked last half hour. It was record-tying warmth in both Huntsville and Muscle Shoals earlier today. We are all quiet as well, so not only warm, but you've been able to get outside and enjoy it because we've had no rain to track, nothing on 31 triple Doppler, nothing is expected on into this evening or tonight. Albertville right now, checking out our Thompson Roofing and Construction Skycam over in that part of Marshall County, looking at mostly clear conditions, and we will see calm weather stick around on into this evening, although there will be an increase in cloud cover overnight tonight in advance of tomorrow's cold front that we've been tracking. Temperatures will be back in the mid-60s around 7 by 9 o'clock. We were falling back through the 50s, but that's where we'll stay the rest of tonight. Tonight will not be as chilly as recent nights have turned out around the area. I'll be back in just a few moments. This cold front coming in, we'll talk about two things. Number one, how much rain it will bring and how much of a cool down will be coming in for the rest of the week. I'll have all the details on the way in your forecast.
During Black History Month, WAAY 31 shining a light on people, locations, and events that impact and celebrate African Americans. Our story about the history of Glenwood Cemetery had many of you talking about a concern there, and it's potentially stopping visitors. WAAY 31's weekend anchor Rob Sneed joins us live now with a closer look at those concerns being raised. Rob?
Good evening to you, Marie. As of right now, you've talked about those concerns. Those concerns is just this right here, just a few feet over. This temporary homeless spot where folks have set up tents and they are living there for now. Glenwood, as you mentioned, is a historically black cemetery, and some feel that this camp wouldn't be next to any other cemetery in this city. Glenwood Cemetery has a long history. It replaced the original slave cemetery known as Georgia, established in 1818 north of the present Huntsville Hospital. For years, it was neglected until a group of students took their frustration straight to the city leaders back in the 1990s. Now, it's clean, but some feel it still isn't getting its respect from the city and city leaders. John Humphrey says just take a stroll over to other cemeteries like Maple Hill, and he says it's a stark contrast. Over there you can see the clean neighborhood, stone-walled gates surrounding the plots, and large monuments that are all throughout the cemetery, all throughout the plot. Some say that it gives you a feeling of safety and security. But John says having a homeless camp right next to the Glenwood Cemetery is the complete opposite.
The cemetery should be just as Maple Hill. It should be somewhere where our children and others can go, because there's a lot of black history in that neighborhood, in that particular community, in that particular cemetery. And you can't get to it because many people just don't look at that part of town as a safe place to be.
And I brought those concerns, of course, to the city, and they are right now responsible for maintaining Glenwood. I am still waiting to hear back from them, and when we do, we will then give you their response. For now, I'm reporting live in Huntsville with coverage you can count on. Rob Sneed, Wait 31 News.
New at 5, Lincoln County deputies want your help finding this man. Sean Kessler is wanted on 2 counts of violation of probation. If you have any information on where he is or if you've seen him, please contact the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office. Meanwhile, this Morgan County man faces drug charges after deputies found fentanyl and other drugs during a traffic stop. John Lewis Patterson is charged with drug trafficking. Patterson was booked in the Morgan County Jail with a bond set at more than $300,000. Your voice, your vote. State lawmakers advanced amended legislation to take away youthful offender status for some teens charged with a crime. House Bill 146 prohibits a judge from granting youthful offender status to anyone who's at least 16 and charged with murder. The bill now heads to the House floor for consideration. State lawmakers also advanced 2 bills aimed at ridding classrooms of cell phones. Under House Bill 166 and Senate Bill 92, students cannot use wireless communication devices in public schools during instructional days. They also require schools to put in place internet safety policies. The bill's sponsors believe getting rid of phones in the classroom helps prioritize the well-being of students. Scottsboro City Schools will soon roll out a new weapons detection system. Starting March 13th, students at Scottsboro High School will walk through the open gate system when entering the building. School leaders say there will be signs posted around the school directing visitors to also walk through the system. Last month, the school board approved $61,000 to purchase this new system. The U.S. House of Representatives passed a budget resolution last night that would bring on deep cuts to Medicaid. If the resolution makes it through the Senate and to the president's desk, this vote would affect almost a quarter of the U.S. population. Advocacy group Alabama Arise says U.S. lawmakers in Alabama should reconsider. They say leaders are cutting health coverage, food assistance, and other human services in a push to offset the cost of tax cuts for wealthy households. However, U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville says it's about getting people back to work and weeding out corruption.
We have to take a chainsaw to the waste, fraud, and abuse. Now, here's the thing about Medicare, Social Security, and all that. There's not going to be cuts. There is going to be different regulations put into where we can make people go back to work if they can work. We can't have people just getting a check every month just because they want to sit home.
Meanwhile, in Birmingham, U.S. Representative and Huntsville native Terry Sewell is slamming the DOJ office after some workers at the Social Security Administration's office were laid off. In a tweet yesterday, Representative Sewell quoted saying there were unjustly terminated as the Congresswoman called out Elon Musk's reckless power trip, is what she said. American Federation of Government Employees, the union representing federal workers, told her the cuts affected, quote, Social Security Region 4, which covers several states, including Alabama. Still, 6 recently fired federal workers could temporarily be back on the job soon, thanks to an independent protection board that reviews complaints by government employees. Their move is considered one of the first direct rebukes to President Donald Trump and his Department of Government Efficiency. Laura Aguirre has those details.
Overall, it's a travesty.
Attorney James Eisenman is the former general counsel of the U.S. Merit Systems Protection Board, or MSBP. He's been watching the recent widespread federal firings closely and agrees with the current board's 45-day reinstatement of around a half dozen fired workers.
There's no real consideration for the impact of these firings on the agencies, on the mission of the agencies, and on the individuals themselves.
Consideration aside, legal concerns abound.
To me, it's just an assault on the rule of law.
That's what the MSPB, working with the Office of Special Counsel, will investigate over the next month and a half, representing the workers as they bring their wrongful termination cases against the Trump administration through a network of over 60 administrative judges nationwide.
The administrative judge conducts a hearing, much like a trial, except there's no jury. That decision from the judge can be appealed to the 3 board members at headquarters of the MSPB.
The initial wave of cases could be a testing ground for what's to come.
It's obviously very stressful.
This FAA employee, afraid to be identified, is among many waiting to see where DOGE downsizing strikes next.
Managers, most of the times, are not even knowing their employees are being fired. They find out from the employees.
Eisenman says the, quote, slash and burn approach to agency cuts will hurt more than the employees and their families.
More importantly, it will harm the public at some point.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
ABC's David Muir will have the very latest details on this situation right now after this newscast on World News Tonight. Still ahead, we'll share some special animals up for adoption because it is Wag Your Tail Wednesday after all.
DeKalb County inmates training dogs. I'm Wave 31 reporter Julia Miller with a closer look at the program.
Coverage you can count on. This is Wave 31 News at 5 with Marie Waxel and Chief Meteorologist Jeff Castle.
Well, finding a forever home can be a challenge for some dogs, but one North Alabama animal shelter has a unique solution, teaming up with inmates to help train and socialize them. WAY 31's Julia Miller shows us how this program is making a difference in DeKalb County.
The Forever Project kicked off this week, bringing dogs from the DeKalb Animal Shelter here to the Sheriff's Office. The idea to have the inmates train them in things like basic obedience and socialization, making them more adoptable. And so far, they say the dogs aren't the only ones benefiting. The inmates are too. This is Bella. She's just 3 months old. And in just a week, inmates here at DeKalb County Jail have taught her how to sit, shake, and lie down. The goal is to prepare her for a future with a loving family. But this program goes beyond just training. It's about giving inmates a sense of purpose and responsibility.
And it gives them something to enjoy doing, rather than just possibly sitting back, hanging out in the pod, doing nothing but watching TV or staring at a wall. It gives them an opportunity to try to find possibly a different path, something they may not have ever considered before.
Wright believes this program will continue to grow, helping more dogs find homes and giving inmates a chance to learn new skills. Wright tells me Bella stays with the inmates all day. He says they've grown so attached to her that they've even asked him if they could skip going back to their pods at night to sleep with her. In DeKalb County, with coverage you can count on, Julia Miller, WAY 31 News.
That sound means it's Wednesday, our favorite day of the week for Wag Your Tail Wednesday.
Let's take a look at some of your furry friends that you've shared with us across the Tennessee Valley. These are photos sent in by our loyal viewers. First, we have Elvira
Papa Mau Mau
from Union Grove. Elvira's owner says she is newly added to her family and absolutely loves being lazy and sleeping. What puppy doesn't love that? And who doesn't love Elvira, right? Now, I'm sorry, you've got that song in your head the rest of the day.
Yep, you're welcome.
Next, we have Bogey, who is a Maltese from Athens. Bogey's owners say he is named after Humphrey Bogart, who starred in the movie The Maltese Falcon. He loves playing with his rooster and loves getting the zoomies. And finally, if you are ready to add a new family member to your home, now is the perfect time. This is Jax. He's a 1-year-old mixed breed pup that is obsessed with toys, loves affection, and plays great with other dogs. If you would like to have Jax as your forever spot in your house, visit Athens Animal Services today. He is currently up for adoption. And if you'd like to see your pet featured on Wag Your Tail Wednesday, just head on over to our website, waytv.com/boomer, to share those photos. All right, here we go. Let's talk weather. I was waiting for the weather open to roll. Didn't know that wasn't going to happen. All right, we, of course, hit well into the 70s today. Record time, both Huntsville and out in Muscle Shoals. Won't be the case the rest of the week. We are going to see the numbers come down slightly. Cold front is going to be arriving as we head into tomorrow, but still not going to be bad. We're talking middle upper 60s through the start of the weekend. Another cold front coming in Saturday into Sunday. This one will have a little bit more bite to it in terms of a cool down, so by Sunday afternoon, temperatures will only be in the 50s. Neither front, though, is going to be a big rain producer. Shower tomorrow, maybe. I'll show you that in just a second. Our front coming in over the weekend right now, we're not forecasting any rainfall with it. Temperatures will start to bounce back again pretty quickly heading on into next week, which is when we'll really be watching for our next big weather maker. This is the upper level weather pattern. Fairly quiet for the most part here across the eastern half of the country, but as we work our way into the weekend, we're going to be watching a big dip in the airflow coming in from the west coast, and as that pulls eastward, it is going to bring in a fairly dynamic storm system here across the central and eastern U.S. This will be the next thing that we are watching for next week for better rain chances and possibly some severe weather. Now, will that happen here in the Tennessee Valley? That's a question mark right now. One of the ingredients to get severe weather, you have to have ample energy for storms to feed off of. Looks like through the day Tuesday, that will be in place to our west. But as we move things forward in time and we take you into Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, which is when we're kind of expecting this round of rain and storms to come on in, looks like storm energy may be a little lacking here in North Alabama. Obviously, we're a week out. This could change between now and the middle of next week. So at this point, that's the only limiting factor that may keep the chances for strong storms a little bit lower around here compared to the west. But with that said, this time of year with a very dynamic storm system, that can quickly turn around. So check back with us for new updates as we get a little bit closer. For now, though, we can give you all clear. Nothing on Wave 31 triple Doppler. And if we see any rain out of tomorrow's cold front, it's going to be extremely minor. We do start you off with some clouds first thing tomorrow morning. You're going to see a little strip of some light shower activity coming through parts of the Tennessee Valley tomorrow morning, but this is not much whatsoever. Very light in the precip department, and that is over and done with by the noon hour tomorrow. We'll start to clear out the cloud cover as we work our way on into your Thursday afternoon. And again, those temperatures come down a little bit, but not a huge drop-off expected. Lows tonight, 40s in Fort Payne. Everyone else will stay somewhere into the low end of the 50s. We head through the day tomorrow. You can keep up with any shower activity, if any does develop, on the Wave 31 Storm Tracker weather app. We'll go from those low 50s in the morning back into the 60s tomorrow afternoon, right around 60 at 11. Sunshine as we wrap up the day, but not as warm as today turned out. We're talking mid-60s, so a good 10-degree drop or so from what we saw earlier today, but that is still warmer than our average for late February. 68 in the Shoals tomorrow, 67 Moulton, 64 Huntsville, and in Gunnersville, 62 Scottsboro, and 65 degrees over in Fort Payne tomorrow. Here's your Wave 31 Storm Tracker 10-day forecast. Again, overall, heading into the weekend, not too bad. Just some fluctuations in the temperatures. Again, Sunday will be the cool day at 52. And we'll also see some colder mornings back in here. Friday morning, 36. Light freeze is likely Sunday morning and again on Monday morning. Temperatures are briefly back up around 70 degrees in advance of that next weather maker as we head into Tuesday next week. And then behind it, whatever sort of rain and storm activity we get out of it, temperatures will fall back again, but not a significant drop off out there. We're talking 50s, 60s for your highs later next week and heading into the following weekend.
I know we talked about it yesterday, but this is the time of year. The weather's beautiful. We're going to be spending more time outside, right? Lots of people out here at Toyota Field, taking in some sights when the season kicks off. But it's really something we've got to pay attention to weather-wise because it brings severe weather.
It is here. I mean, March and April are the two most active months for tornadoes here in the state of Alabama. So we are hitting that mark and really, I hope not hitting the ground running, but looks like the first of those storm systems that could bring some spring storms arrives again around the early middle part of next week.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. We know you'll be on it. We'll be right back. If you're proud of the landscaping and flowers at your business, well, you're in luck. Nominations are open for the 2025 Huntsville Beautification Awards. The deadline to submit the entry form and $50 fee for each property is Monday, April 7th. To qualify, the entity must be at least a year old. Judging will take place after Memorial Day, so keep it up. Let's take a live look at traffic right now. Our favorite spot along 565, directly across from the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. A little bit of a slowdown out there, but no major issues to pass you along. And by slowdown, we just looks like the regular afternoon rush. So take it slow.
All those folks waiting to get on Research Park Boulevard.
Oh, yeah, that is right there.
Right there.
Yeah, everyone's
right
trying to scoot on out there.
doing.
You know, nice night to drive with the windows down, though.
It is, yes, absolutely. We've had perfect weather out there today. Tomorrow will be a cooler day, but not necessarily a cool day with temperatures in the 60s.
And I think we agreed and settled on it's not hot out there yet, even if you were standing in the sun today. We'll see you at 6.
Test, test, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, test, test. There goes the mic. It fell off. I got it. This clip is a little loose. They said it looks good. Okay. Ace. They know it too. Someone's talking about you guys. Mm-hmm. 3, 2. Details on Decatur's new interim police chief at 10.
All right, here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tracking a slight cool down into the weekend in your forecast at 10.
I'm Nicole Williams. Later tonight on Wave 31 News at 10, Decatur names a new interim police chief. What this means for the city moving forward.
And temperatures down a little bit heading into the weekend. I'll have the details in your forecast.
I'm Nicole Williams. Later tonight on Wave 31 News at 10, a push to ban Glock switches making headway in the State House. We sit down with the sponsor of the bill to talk about public safety.
And I'll have details on our next big weather maker in your forecast. I'm Wave 31 Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Jeff Castle. Fairly quiet through the weekend, but we are watching the middle of next week for our next big weather maker. I'll have an early preview of it coming up in your forecast next at 10.
I'm Nicole Williams. Tonight on Fox 20 News at 9, a push to ban Glock switches making headway at the State House. We sit down with one of the sponsors to talk public safety.
And I'm tracking slightly cooler weather for tomorrow in your forecast.
I'm Tori Dunn, new at 6. We have the
Jeff's mic 1 2 3, mic check 1 2 3, mic check, mic check, mic check.
Mic check, mic check. Oh, cord. Am I sounding okay?
I'm Tori Dunn, new at 6. We have the latest on the new interim police chief in Decatur. We'll walk you through who it is next. Plus, a warm day to report today. Jeff will have more.
Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic.
Coverage you can count on. This is Way 31 News at 6.
Decatur Police has a new chief of police. It is an interim chief, and I've got more details on who he is coming up in just a few minutes.
State lawmakers work